So getting to the rest of this game, KeAndre Lambert-Smith,
Yeah,
a nice debut, right? Yeah, it's a big KLS game for the day 3 rookie for the Chargers. He caught 2 of 2 targets, 43 yards, and a touchdown in the Thursday Hall of Fame game. Someone for me, Matthew, started his career at Penn State, was pretty good, finished his career at Auburn. Really nice possession receiver in college. I know he timed at a 4.3, 7.40. I didn't see him play as a vertical threat, but somebody that he can make a lot of plays when the play breaks down, a good adjuster to the ball. So I'm kind of curious if he could be some depth in a wide receiver room that, for all the talent it also has a fair share of injuries at times.
Yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm curious to what you think because I've talked to some other scouts that said, like, they thought he might be a little bit small,
slender kind of
player.
Yeah,
a little twitchy. But I will tell you that prior to the game, we're on the field and we're talking with some guys, and so I'm walking around with Devin McCourty, and so of course we're talking to a bunch of defensive players, and as I said here in this tweet right here, we were talking to one of the safeties on the Chargers. And I literally said we said, like, hey, how's Trey Harris? And he goes, oh, I'm excited to see him. He's got all the tools. But we actually got 2 guys. KLS, man, he's burning people in practice. So just unprompted, just talked about how KeAndre Lambert-Smith had been really impressive. And he feels like, when he said 2 guys, he really means like 2 of the rookies.
Yeah.
Like we've got 2 young guys that are really showing something in camp. Trey Harris, not a surprise. But KLS, 5th-round pick, a little bit of one.
Yeah, so you said that he could be great depth, Connor. Is there a chance that he can be more than that? Because outside of Ladd McConkey in this receiver room, it's like QJ, Trey Harris, who we obviously we haven't seen. There's not a lot there. Is there a chance that he could be? Are there worlds where he could be the number 2 receiver on the Chargers? There's
a world of that. It's required for injury. The thing is, we saw McConkey get banged up at his size. Trey Harris missed a lot of time last season in college football, and then you have QJ, where we've seen inconsistencies as well. So if Lambert-Smith, if he starts, the biggest thing for me was getting off the line of scrimmage, getting into his routes, not getting disrupted when things got physical. If they can coach him up in that, I think a number 3 would be a fair expectation at some point for him.
A couple other sort of nuggets from the field right there. It's so great when you get to go there and you get to talk to players, especially in the preseason, because it's loose. They know the game doesn't matter and everything like that. So they're, I think, probably a little bit more willing to share information at that point. I've always liked Will Dissly. But I think I'm alone. No one trashed Will Dissly, but the comments I got is I think they really like Tyler Conklin there. And Gadsden is turning some heads. Aronde Gadsden Jr., rookie out of Syracuse, is turning some heads there. So it'll be a bit of a 3-headed monster there at tight end for the Chargers, but Conklin's and Gadsden's name came up a lot more than Dissly when I was asking about the tight end room.
And Gadsden, you watch him play, it's very similar to what they did with Stone Smart last year. Where they like having that tight end that's just a big wide receiver that can play off the line of scrimmage. And he gained a lot of weight throughout his time at Syracuse to really develop into that position. So I'm with you. That's really interesting.
2 other quick comments from the field, line side of the ball. So I went up to I had a great conversation with Jared Goff.
Really?
I did. So Devin and I, again, we walked up to Jared Goff, so we asked him, like, hey, how's the new scheme, right? Because obviously John Morton is the new offense coordinator, Ben Johnson now the head coach in Chicago. So we're asking, like, how's it going out with a new scheme? And he said, he said, yeah, he says we're running more or less the same scheme. He said we've added some new wrinkles here, but we're running a lot of the same stuff. But we've definitely added some new wrinkles. And then he turns to me because I just walked up and I just said, hey, Matthew Berry, NBC Sports, right? I didn't say anything beyond that. So he goes, we've added some new wrinkles, but don't worry, Jahmyr Gibbs still going to be really, really good. So, like, he immediately knew.
The reassurance.
Exactly. He quickly knew why I was sort of asking and played along. I said, oh, really? And I said, do we think, and I just asked him, pressed on that, do you think, like, you'll see more of Gibbs? He was so good down the stretch. And he said, well, no, I think one of the reasons why he was so good down the stretch and why he was so good all of last year was because he didn't have to carry it, touch it 25 times a game. Montgomery spelling him, he says he suspects it'll be similar to last year, which is, a series for Gibbs, a series for Montgomery. But when they get in close, I got the sense that there's a few more red zone packages for Gibbs that they're installing this year, and that I think he takes another step. But it's probably not going to be what we saw over the final 3 games of last year. The other thing I said to him, I said, well, all right, so after he did the Gibbs comment, I'm like, all right, okay, so you know why I'm asking, you get it. Yeah. I said, so.
Give me a little more.
I just said, I'm just going to ask, like, give me a sleeper. Who you got in this offense? Give me a sleeper. And he's just like, he goes, I don't know that I have anyone that you haven't even heard of. He said, I will tell you, Jameson's having an amazing camp. He said, obviously, like, Laporte and the running backs, Amon-Ra, he just said, but Jameson's having an amazing camp. So that just sort of, we've heard that in the press, but to hear it specifically from the quarterback,
Right,
the
and
guy
that's
getting the
something
ball, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think there might be a bit of an inefficiency with how people are thinking about the Lions, because people like Ben Johnson, who everyone thinks is a great coordinator, and I'm sure he was a great coordinator, everyone thinks that him leaving means that the offense is definitely going to get worse. Like, we haven't seen this offense without Ben Johnson. Yeah, Ben Johnson was probably a big part of how it succeeded, but it's one of the best O-lines in football, even with the changeover. Still Goff. James Williams will be better. Amon-Ra St. Brown's one of the top 10 receivers in the game. Jameer Gibbs is a top 5 running back. Like, it's probably just going to be a sick offense again.
And Sam Laporta, that's part of the problem why he wasn't able to give me a sleeper. It's like, as it is, they can't get the ball enough to Laporta and Williams and Amon-Ra.
Also,
and the running backs.
The last we saw of Ben Johnson, he was dialing up a trick play for James Williams to throw a pick to end the season.
Which was one of my favorite plays of the season, Ben Johnson. You keep doing you. God bless. Love that. Thank you. Anytime you get your wide receiver to throw in triple coverage when you're down a touchdown in a playoff game, you got to do it. Am I right?
Yeah. I think that's look, all the fact that, they use a ton of motion and a ton of play action and the scripted offense is great. I'm sure Ben Johnson's a really good coordinator, but still, we haven't seen this offense fail without him yet. And until we do, I think you have to operate with the assumption that it's going to be a really
and John
good
Morton was on this staff. So, I mean, again, I think
around a while. John
yeah,
Morton's not a bum. Like, he knows what he's doing when it comes to offense.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what Goff said, basically. It's a different scheme, but it's not significantly different. They've just added, they've added some new stuff. They've added some new wrinkles.
I think also it's really easy to attach yourself to the idea that Ben Johnson is a total genius because of the trick plays. And because when the trick plays work, it makes you look outlier good as a coordinator. I think it might be a little over-indexing there.
How have the markets been reacting to the Lions and all this change? Because it's both sides of the ball. Aaron Glenn is with the Jets, Ben Johnson with the Bears. Because it feels like some people are saying, oh, this could really cause them to step back. But I don't know, the roster's still loaded.
Still loaded. I mean, they're the second favorites in the NFC behind the Eagles, but they are kind of a separated tier from the Eagles. The Eagles are tier 1 by themselves, despite the fact that the Lions went 15-2 last year, despite being one of the most injured defenses in NFL history. The health on defense will regress positively. They'll probably get a bit more banged up on offense, so pretty healthy on that side of the ball. But expectation is 10 to 11 wins in the market. And I don't know, we'll see. I think we're going to learn a lot about the NFC North week 1 when Detroit play Green Bay, because I think those might be the 2 best teams in the NFC, along with Philadelphia.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.